1. Go.
Fellas, so if you were on Come Dine with me,
Right.
I could be rather boring and ask you what would your meal be. You can gloss over that if you will, but more importantly, what would your entertainment be when you come dine with me?
My mum's addicted to Come Dine with me. I actually think this is a national epidemic. This series linking fucking Come Dine with me.
It's still
Four
going.
episodes a day, and 4 episodes a day or something fucking stupid. Series linking it, like my mum has filled the skybox full of Come Dine with me. How much Come Dine with me can one person watch? Which is basically just fucking house parties.
I do like it. I don't know, because you do get like the right bitchy people, and it is nice. I mean, you watch so much of it. It is nice when you get like a nice group together and they don't fall out. And it's like, oh, this is nice. And I don't know. I just think it's great to be able to shout at your telly at some mealy mouthed prick who you don't agree with that.
Well, there's always one, isn't there, every week that says, I mean, I've obviously won, and she's the one that everybody fucking hates. You know, everybody loved my party. I'm obviously going to win, I mean, and then the thing comes out, and they fucking get up and storm out.
It's got everything in it. Come Down With Me is a great film in it, because, I mean, it's even got the games as well, the little games, and the person who goes first will invariably get a very high score, and then be a complete prick for the rest of the week. It always happens, and it's, I don't know, I do, but then the scoring games and it's
I think if it was me, I think you just gotta be yourself. I mean, you can. The advice would probably be to play the middle ground, wouldn't it? You know, just do the most thing that will not offend people, that people find remotely fun. But you want to inject a bit of your own personality in there. If you're gonna go on it, be fucking your own person. So.
Yeah, I mean, hot tubs are quite big. For some reason, lots of people have hot tubs and any excuse to use them. So they bring a swimming costume. But I don't know what my entertainment would be, though. I don't know what I would do. I like decorating. Well, I don't like it. I'm forced to do a lot of decorating, so maybe I'll just say bring a roller along. We're doing a spare bedroom.
Better roller cola. Yeah. I think I'd play a card game of some sort or something like that. Cards Against Humanity or, you know...
That would be good, yeah. Cards Against Humanity would be a good call.
Especially, you know, there'll be the gay guy who's easily offended. The token
yeah, that's him. See how wrong people can be.
Yeah.
You know, and the feedback in the back of the taxi will be, it made me feel really uncomfortable. I mean, fucking eating babies is just not something I would ever do, and blah, blah, blah. But people will be watching now going, that's fucking hilarious.
I really didn't like his Auschwitz-themed dessert. Yeah, terrible. Dan, what do you think? What would
I'd like to fry. Sorry, Ant, go on.
What do you reckon your entertainment / menu would be?
Chicken and chips, obviously.
Mashed potato fritters.
All right, fritters.
It's
classy.
Yeah, and then I'd move on to maybe chicken and chips, or chicken and mash, or sausage and mash.
Oh, chicken and mash. That's wrong.
Kiev and mash, possibly.
Well, if you get a bit of gravy on top of the chicken and mash, you'd be all right.
A bit gravy, yeah. I mean, sort of anything with gravy in, maybe a pie or a casserole or something like that, and mash. And for dessert, I'd probably have mashed potato cheesecake. Children.
Yeah, the neighbours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all going so well. This guy's a 7 or 8. He's brought out dead children. Oh, Jesus.
What about the entertainment, though? Here's the thing.
Entertainment. I don't know the part. This is the part about the entertainment. All I know about it is that a bunch of people get together and have a dinner party every night. What's the entertainment?
Watch Come Down With Me. How the hell can you not have seen Come Down With
Me? I've seen episodes of it, but I don't. So you have to entertain your guests.
Yeah, you have to provide some form of entertainment. Yeah.
Often it's quite crap. I saw one the other day where the woman played the spoons, and that was about it. But it doesn't have to be good.
I could show them all the scars on my testicles, on my scrotum, couldn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Winner.
If you get a photo and like a projector and put it on the wall, it's like a giant map of the moon, and you're there with a laser pointer saying, like, this is what I'd like to eat.
This is where I cut myself. This is where I ran across London 3 times in 2 days.
No, Dan, you could have a great game of Find the Radiator Key. Hide it somewhere.
Oh, yes!
Hide it somewhere in the apartment and go, right, bastard who can find the radiator key can bleed all the radiators. Go.
Do you know what? I was digging out a screwdriver at the weekend and the radiator key is in my toolbox. It's obviously learned how to behave.
There are so many double entendres in that little sentence. Say that again. I was playing with you. Oh dear God. So actually was a toolbox and you were looking for a screwdriver? Okay.
That's right, yeah, and it's right where it's supposed to be.
That's it.
So
you don't have like a female name for your screwdriver or your Allen key or
No.
your Reducer key.
Do you want me to give her one?
I think you should. I think it would be set up a good precedent, so that
Um,
if you ever have visitors in the house, they can say anybody else in the room with you here, and you just go, just Sheila.
Rachel the radiator key. I do like alliteration.
There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Yeah. She's the right tight bugger.
Dear gentlemen.
What would you have? What would you do, Hunt? Did we establish that?
I don't know. I mean, what we could, if we're allowed to go outside, I mean, we could sort of go around and rate the local yokels. Sort of like like you have like a rate my face or rate my poo.
Yeah.
You could have like we could see. Oh, and here's Granny Scrambles. I was gonna say all the names I'll say are actually the real weirdos around me. There's Mad Michelle. She's she gets naked a couple of times a month. She just sort of street and goes or she sort of punch the window and run away.
Does she own cats?
I don't think she does. No, Granny Scrambles owned cats, I think.
Oh, Granny Scrambles.
Oh, Granny Scrambles.
One with the great eggs.
She was mental. No, she asked me. She stopped me in the street and asked me if I'd seen her piece of Battenberg cake. I'm not even like, but I mean, and I said, what, like a packet? No, just a piece. A piece there, my love, just a piece of Battenberg cake. I'll keep my eye out for it, but no. And she sort of like grabbed me right in, and I was like, a cake. Yeah.
Talking about pieces, right? But maybe this again was. I seem to say it's not. Maybe it's a Northern Irish thing. But we used to call sandwiches when we were young pieces. Could you make me a piece? No, was that a Northern Irish thing? Nobody says it here anymore either. Don't get me wrong. It seems they've disappeared into the mist somewhere. But a piece could make us a piece
with another piece of bread with preferably some filling.
We'll leave all that other shit, all those other words out. Just make us a piece. Oh.
But not marmalade or cucumber because that might be considered political. Is that right?
Or curry yogurt, as it is here now. Have you
Curry
heard this
yogurt,
fucking story?
No.
No.
I heard the story about the gay cake in Northern Ireland.
Tell me about the gay cake, and I'll tell you about curry my yogurt.
Well, not so much the cake, but the bakers. Some people came in.
Were they gay bakers?
No, just a regular baker. They came to a regular baker somewhere in Northern Ireland, and they asked them the baker to bake a cake with and put on top of it a picture of Bert and Ernie, and write in icing, "Support gay marriage." And the baker refused, saying it was against his beliefs. But some equality commission somewhere came in.
We have an equality commission
and
to
sued them. And so this baker may very well they're taking him to court or something for refusing to write that on the cake.
So they're to write gay things on cakes.
Yeah.
Well, there has been a major incident in Northern Irish politics, in our Houses of Parliament, so to speak.
Go on.
All the Sinn Féin, the nationalist politicians, when they get up to speak in the chambers, will always start with an address in Gaelic, in Irish, and they'll say something like "Gurma Agat, thank you for inviting me to speak, blah blah blah," in Irish, and then they'll go on to speak in English. Well, one of the unionist politicians got up the other day in a rather mocking tone, said "curry my yogurt," etc., etc., taking the piss out of the Irish thing. Well, this has caused a major incident. Holy shit. I mean, they have a welfare reform bill which is costing them a £150 million fine if they don't, pass it. But all that's been on the news for 3 days here solid has been this politician said "curry my yogurt," taking the piss out of the Irish language. Can't stand for this nonsense. Sweet Jesus. No, welcome to Northern Ireland. I swear, only place, like, between that and flags, we can stop the world for a feckin' flag on top of a building that nobody else knew was there. I mean, I'm not really politically minded either way, but Jesus Christ, they don't half know how to make a storm out of a teacup when there's real problems going on, but nobody knows how to fix because they're all fucking thick.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd best not get started on politics. Smash this bottle of wine on
Well, I always say politicians, I'd like to see them do... Anybody ever watch MasterChef?
Yeah.
Right, do you know where they get them in? Dan's never watched MasterChef. Well, I suppose it is on at the moment. But they get them in at the start and they get them to cook something, right? And they then rate them after one dish. But what they whittle down one person away, but then they get them to do a skills test, and it's usually something fucking really mundane that you probably do in first week of cookery school or something. But the amount of charlatans that are found out, the fucking very instant that happens, they might have made a nice bit of lamb and it stuck a bit of mice beside it, and they're going, "Let's taste this," whatever, and then you ask them to make a fucking soup, and they go, "Jesus Christ, I can't make a soup," and they found out. I'd like to see them do the same with politicians. But the fucking charlatans that fell out of bed one morning, ended up in politics, and then if you ask them to do something, they go, "Oh shit, I have absolutely no idea."
Yeah. What you mean, like with chefing? You'd make him cook something, or like politics themed
Like a
master
politics themed MasterChef, so some kind
like
of skills test. Can you?
create a new policy for female workers under 35.
I wouldn't even make it that much
Yeah.
difficult. I would write a fucking 200-page document on fucking the way you should butter your fucking toast. How many of them would go fuck I can't spell or something along those lines?
Mm.
You know, and you're asking these people to make policy for exactly what you talked about. You know, fuck, I just don't know. I think it would probably scare you.
Yeah, it does seem strange that all the brightest and best shy away from politics in society, isn't it? It's the fuckers that took like art history or English literature or something like that, and it's I don't know. It's not the really full-on academics, but then I don't know. Do you think that personality and charisma should be part of politics?
Well, that's what makes the best politicians. Let's be honest. Look at the
Mm.
great leaders in
But it
past in
shouldn't
time.
be there. That's the thing. I mean,
Oh, it
okay, you could
shouldn't be,
have a
but
leader, but I don't
it
know.
shouldn't be. But I mean, if you're an elected representative, you're standing up and you're trying to inspire people. I mean, your number one thing's you've got to be charismatic if you're going to inspire people.
Hmm.
You know, the smartest man in the room very rarely ever leads. He's the man behind the man, isn't he?
Yeah, if you watch like the thick of it, yeah, you can sort of see that.
Well, that's exactly right. But if you even go back to like New Labour's always the classic example of something that came from nothing. I mean, Blair was the front man for it, but it was the other fucking Wallies in the background, Peter Mandelson and Alistair Campbell, etc., that were the real brains behind him being the persona that he was, you know, and that we will manipulate the media and do all these things, move Labour to the right. That was all their thinking, and he was just the front man for it, you know.
Hmm.
God, it
Yeah,
got heavy, didn't it? Holy shit, that was all my fault.
we should talk about, I don't know, gay cakes or something like that again. Yeah.
What's the gayest cake you've ever seen? Let's not do that. We'll offend somebody.
Oh,
I
I
don't know,
almost
but it had a big
say
dent
there.
inside of it was bent.
I was going to say,
Um,
coconut macaroon. It's pretty gay. Macaroons are pretty gay, I think.
it's the gayest cake you could think of was a coconut macaroon.
It's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay. Well, this is pretty. So
What's
it's
the ones
definitely
that
halfway there.
like marshmallow stuff and you like you roll them in like concrete, not concrete, fucking hell.
Because you have
That's the
some
Bambi.
delicacies in Cornwall.
Oh, no, coconut flakes.
You take a bit of coconut macaroon, you stick it in concrete for the bit of sand cement.
That's a proper man's cake, that is.
Hardest cake. God, what's the hardest cake? It's got to be what, a carrot
Rock
cake?
cake.
A rock
Yeah.
cake, yeah.
Rock cake, rock carrot cake.
It's
Yeah,
carrot
the hardest
cake,
cake
it's
is
a
my
vegetable.
granny's fruit cake. That was fucking rock hard, that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not. Culinary cakes was never my thing. That's another thing nobody seems to do anymore. Everybody had a granny who baked, didn't they? No grannies bake anymore, do they?
I had a granny that drank.
Oh, drank as well, yeah.
Only my grannies were sherry drinkers. You know, sherry and port at Christmas. You know, they used to get the wee tiny sherry glasses. Used to get them just for sherry or port. You know, they're like just slightly bigger than a thimble. And your granny used to have, well, my granny anyway, used to have 3 of those at Christmas, and she had to be carried out by fucking 3 of the sons, you know, out of the car. I mean, literally couldn't walk. 3 sherries, fucking Harvey's Bristol cream. Get it down, you.
It's all baby sham. Always with the fucking baby sham. Yeah. Same results, really. Same end game.
Yeah, snowballs. Give that lady a snowball.
Uh-huh.
Did I ever tell you about the time somebody tried to rob the off license?
No.
I worked in an offie for 5 years. The fucking weird, wonderful things you've seen in there. But there was
Really?
a guy came in with a screwdriver, came up to the counter and pulled out of his pocket a screwdriver and pointed it at my face and said, "I am walking out with these, mate, and you are not going to stop me." And I looked in his arms, and he had 2 cans of harp and 3 snowballs.
What's harp? Is that like cheap
Harp,
ass
that's like cheap ass
Lager.
lager, right? Cheap ass lager, 4% lager, 3.8, whatever. Literally, if he'd have reached around behind him, I actually said to him, "Mate, see if you reach around behind you, there's a 12 pack right behind you. It's easier to carry than the 2 loose cans. Plus, I mean, you're caught in that camera, and 2 in the way at the door. You may as well make it worth your while." He went, "Don't be fucking funny, I'll stab you." And I went, "Right, well, work away, because I ain't stopping nobody for about what amounts to £2.37, I think, in total goods. Go for it. Even I earn more an hour on that at a time, so yeah, we're good." Oh dear. Yeah, that was one of more robbery stories. Plenty more to come.
Jolly good. What do you reckon, fellas? Shall we crack on to what we've been up to, you reckon?
Yeah, well, I think you've the most exciting. What have you been up to, Ant? Because I've hardly spoken to you or seen you or.
I
Yeah.
haven't been around. I actually got on the computer once, well, last night for about an hour and a half. Because you see, there was a bit of a mix-up. My wife, God bless her, she was pregnant, and the baby is due on November the 11th. So still, a
Which
fair
is
few
next
days
week. Oh,
on.
you've a couple of days to go. That's good. You know,
That's- I'm
5 days. It
waiting
must be getting
until-
exciting.
That's it. She would have been due. However, last Monday, so a week and a half ago roughly, went into a midwife check. The wife went in and had one of her spidey senses. She said, "I think this baby might be breached." Where basically the babies at that point should be going head down, ready to, sort of come through the mutton shutters when they fly
It's not.
out.
It's not like Rainbow Six Vegas where they do breach and clear. Well, I suppose it is quite.
It is
Quite
almost.
similar. You put the same text in the
flies
door.
out.
Everybody steps back a little bit, and you just fucking press the button, and it just goes.
Explodes and you'll jump out.
And then you'll jump in, walk in through the door.
So they went anyhow. It was she went for that. So then they said, okay, I think the baby might be facing the wrong way round. I think it might be standing up. So if you care to go to the hospital tomorrow on Tuesday and go and check it out, and they might be able to turn it because it's about the right sort of time we can turn it. So I took the day off work, went in with the wife, and we were sat fucking NHS. Here we go. We went in there at 10 a.m. and to make sure, because what they do before and after the baby turning, they put like a microphone doodad on your belly, and they monitor the baby for half an hour before to make sure it's happy. Spin the baby, monitor it again, make sure it's still happy. So we sat there half an hour with a dum 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 in the background. After that, this took it off. Great. We're just waiting for Raji. She'll be with you in a second, and I don't know. Well, they'll spin this baby. We sat there
You
and waited for
spin me right round, but start the fucking theme tune.
I wrote on the whiteboard in there, in the 2 hours we were waiting, I wrote turn, baby, turn, disco inferno. Whiteboard there, because I was fucking bored.
You were thinking of names. This baby is now is going to be called, Chic.
That's it. So, 2 hours we waited, and Raji came in, and she got the ultrasound doodad on the belly, and said, oh, look, here we go, if you see here, here's your baby's feet, sort of facing right down, doing like a tap dance on the wife's cervix, and here is the umbilical cord right between the legs. So if we try and turn this, it could go really badly. It could snag and twist and go really badly.
Jesus, that's
both
just what you
partners.
want to hear a couple of days before the birth. Yeah, yeah.
This was like more than 2 weeks before the birth, the actual due date. So, but then they said, so that being said, we can't turn the baby. However, we wouldn't want you to go into birth naturally, because what might happen is, because it is feet down, you get the foot and an umbilical cord shoot out in one go. And then it's all sorts of how, because you have to try and push it back in, spin it around, and then pull it out, which could be very
Yes.
long as well. So, nurse, if you'd like to get the diary, well, have a look here, and looking through it here, and we'd like to take your baby out in 2 days' time. I nearly fell off the fucking chair. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And yeah, it's
I
right.
have a podcast to do. What?
Don't you know who I am? And so yeah, 2 days' time. That's it. This baby's coming out. Here's a steroid injection. Well, no, she fucked off. Raji went off. She was a nice lady, little Indian lady, nice lady. She fucked off. We had to wait another hour and a half for someone to give my wife a steroid injection up the arse. Not up in the arse, not up it. And she then had to sort of go back in the next day to have another one. And then, yeah, Thursday,
Right.
we're in bright and early, 9:30 a.m. into theatre, where they cut it out of her.
That is mental.
Was
Roller
it
coaster a couple of days, yeah.
It was weird though. I mean, I was nervous as shit because I was listening to another podcast before. Let's see, the day before on Wednesday, I had to go back to work on that Wednesday, the day before, listening to my podcasts as I do, and I listened to Distorted View, which
Yes,
is
yeah.
a sort of sick and wrong podcast. And it just so happened he had sort of like a dead baby extravaganza on there that day, and talked
Fucking
about
hell.
a story where it went wrong and the baby got stuck in the birth canal and it had its head pulled off and all that, and there's a lawsuit. Another one where another baby died, and it shit me right up anyhow. So I went in on Thursday, and I thought it would go wrong, putting it wasn't an epidural, it's called a spinal. They have
Yeah,
like one
yeah.
infection in the spine, everything goes dead. I thought that was going to go wrong, I thought everything was going to go wrong. But no, it was quite good. We were actually talking about Come Dine with Me, turns out. because they have like a curtain. They've sort of put like a big blue
Yeah.
between like the head end and the fanny end, like the business end.
You should have been a doctor. Those are great technical terms. The head end and the fanny end.
And what they did at the
What's
curtain,
Latin for fanny end?
Fabulous.
Fanny
Dan,
indicus.
what's Latin for fanny, Dan?
Oh God, I can look it up if you want me to. No, I think it's just vagina.
I was going to say, I'd be
Vagina
surprised if it
means,
wasn't vagina.
Jeez.
The
Oh God,
JJ.
where's it gone? Where's it gone?
Somebody has stolen your
You're
medical
probably
dictionary.
finding vagina, Dan. Is that what
Where's your flashlight gone?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, don't worry about it. This doesn't really make for very good kind of radio, does it?
Is it your green putty again? Flashlight green
Yeah,
putty.
possibly.
Yeah.
They put the curtain up, anyhow. They put the curtain up, dividing the sides. And my wife's a hairdresser. She knows everyone. She cuts people's hairs. I can't get away with anything, but she knows everyone. One of her sort of clients is a midwife who just happened to be working that day. So she scrubbed up and came in the theatre with us. And she was chatting with us about this Come Dine with Me party she's going to do. It's going to be Greek themed, and she's going to get these personalised napkins. And then I was thinking for a dessert, you could do something with tats. Oh, that's it, your waters are broken. But with the dessert, though, I thought we could do something like this. And it was great. Sort of the other side of the curtain, it sounded like, you get these Foley artists. They just like have a guy like cutting a cabbage. And so you could just hear like these splooshing sounds, like someone like washing potatoes in a washing up bowl with water. Oh yeah, that's your water's gone. The wife didn't know anything. She didn't feel any pressing down. Her blood pressure was good. She was happy, just having a chat about a dinner party. And they said, "Okay, I think we're ready." And with a theatrical flourish, they sort of lowered the curtain down. They didn't actually say what it was because we still didn't know if it was male or female.
Yeah.
Lowered the curtain down, and you're supposed to like recognize what it is on the other side of the curtain. But I don't know.
But did you just look at it and go, fucking hell, that's ugly?
It was grey, it was pink, it was red, it was blue.
Yeah, they're funny colour when they come out, that is true.
It was also covered in white stuff. But yeah, the baby was a little girl, it turns out.
Oh.
Big surprise. Really big surprise. Everyone in the room thought it was going to be male, just from the heart rate, and everyone else before thought it was going to be male as well. So I kind of went down that route.
You went with these people seem to know what they're doing, they do this every day. Therefore, I will go with what they say.
That's it. 9 people in the room. 8 of them said male. Only 1 said female. But yeah, little girl came out. It took a while to recognise though, because you can say it's a girl, just because it was all sort of like grey and pulsating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a mad week though.
Just thought it wasn't much of a boy. Oh, yeah, that's a great story for the wedding.
If it's a boy, I'd be really disappointed.
I don't want a boy like that. Shit.
Yeah. Not like this.
Just wanted to take after his father. I was always hoping for more.
So it's been a bit of a culture shock. This is the first time. No, I tell a lie. The second time I've been on my PC since last week, and yeah.
First time was making party invitations.
That's it. Yeah, Greek ones. But no, yeah, it's been I don't know. Just the sleep routine is the hardest thing. Sort of. I'll be going to bed normally about now. I'll be going to bed now to try and catch up on some sleep before getting up at 1, then 3, then at 6, then at 9 again. Sort of getting up at all those times. And I don't know. It does some really bad psychological things to you.
Yes,
getting up at those times. I mean,
it's weird. Because I wouldn't think any of the three of us are good sleepers. With our regular sleeping patterns, gamers generally have a regular sleeping patterns anyway. But it's nothing like this. I mean, I found myself for the first year having to go to bed at 10, and 11, and well, maybe that's stressing a bit long, but certainly there was an extended period where you knew to yourself, I have to go to bed at this time because I can't function and do all the other things that I'm supposed to be doing. Even though my wife's off and I'm working, I still have to do my bit and whatever. It's bizarre.
It's been an education, but yeah, everyone's doing well. I mean, the wife's doing okay. It's criminal. I mean, the way they sort of like boot you out of hospital. So she had it done Thursday morning, 9:30, and we were out of the hospital by 4 p.m. the next day. And I don't know, it was all the health checks were done and everyone was fine, apparently. But I mean, I then had to sort of get the wife in the car. I had to fucking lift her feet into the car. I had to do, she couldn't reach down and even like do, sort of basic hygiene stuff, which I had to do. I won't go into too much detail. Or shall I? That's if you're a paying member, then I'll go into extra detail.
Yeah, premium cast. Will include videos and instructional
That's all I can tell.
tips. Yeah, it's funny though. It's funny you say that because I remember thinking that as well. But we paid for the people had told us beforehand. There's a private floor in the hospital. Pay the money for the night in the private. You know, the first night. You really will think it's worth it because if you're in the main ward, you can only visit at certain times if you're not the father, right? So you're restricted to the 2 hours or the 3 hours a day that allow you. But if you have a private room, you can come and go as you please.
How do you do that? We couldn't. What do you get? Like a? Is it like a conductor that goes around for like a little upgrade to a private room? Is it or what?
You have to request it. You know, it's one of those things. Somebody told us to do it to request it. You know, when she's going in to say get the room, and I think it was £90 a night or something like that, and said
Really?
look, do it even for a night. To do it, it's worth it because you can come and go as you please. The father can come as please. Visitors can come and go as they please. You have your own private room, and you're not in the ward. And it definitely was the way to go. We actually paid for 2 nights because if the birth happens after a certain time, they don't count that night as one. If you know what I mean. So if the baby's born after 7 at night, that
Yeah.
night doesn't count. If you know what I mean, because the baby was born late and whatever. So we only paid for 1 night, so made the most of it. But the second time it happened you're out as quickly as you possibly can. You'll just want to get home when the second one and the first one I remember feeling it was rushed. God, we're taking them home very quickly and whatever. See the second one, just get home and we'll deal with it at the time because your life's already a mess. You've got another child in the house and it's like Christ, I don't want to be running back and forth to this hospital. And the wife just wants to get home and just start getting into the routine like you're going to at the moment. You want to get into that mode. You want to start that portion of your life off again so that you can find some way to live in it, you know, and
Yeah.
and, and do. I mean, as you said in one of the tweets you sent to me, it's kind of really enjoyable though. At the same time, it's a weird feeling to be so exhausted all the time. Yet,
Yeah. What do you call it? It reminds me of what was it in Vanilla Sky? What they call it? Sort of like a lucid dream, almost, because you sort of like you find yourself conscious again and doing something, and it's like I don't remember waking up or going to sleep.
how did I get here?
And it's like I'm now awake and I'm now doing this, but I don't know why. I tell you what, the best thing we bought though was these like little LED candles. They sound crap, but I mean they're really good. They're like done by Philips. I got them for a bargain off my Hot UK deals. They're supposed to be 30 quid for 3 of these. Like they look classy. They're sort of like glass lights and
Sounds
it's like a
terrible.
fake candle. But the batteries in them, it's got like an induction charger, so you just like put them on a charging port. 10 hours to charge, but they last for 20 hours. But one of those bad boys, you just have them on your bed stand, your nightstand, and baby cries, click, click, you just tilt it to one side, candle comes on, and it's like, one candle's power, and then you can, sort of go and deal with the baby without hitting the main lights. They've been great,
Yeah.
they've been a lifesaver, honestly. But, yeah, it's been, I don't know, I would like to think I've somehow grown. I'm now a bigger and more stable person through all of this.
You're a real man now. You've fathered.
I don't know. I do actually. Is it wrong to think that? I do actually think that sometimes. It's like it doesn't even matter if I get like hit by this car because I've now successfully passed on my genetics.
Do you
So
know,
everything's good.
I said this at the time when my wife got pregnant and one of my other friends got pregnant just before us, and then the other two subsequently did. When you get that call from your wife to say, "I'm pregnant, you're going to be a father," there is a part that does the fist bump and goes, "Yes, I was always afraid I was going to be a blankety blank. I was going to be a Les Dawson." I really did. I mean, they say what they always say, isn't it 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 men have fertility problems? Some ridiculously high number. And I remember sitting in the bar, and there's 5 of us friends-wise who are quite close, thinking, which one of us is it? Who is it? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be you? Because there's 1 in 5, and you think, well, it's not me. Fucking get in.
I did start to think that. I mean, I shan't go into too much detail. But I'm about to. But no, me and the wife were going for 6 months before anything happened.
Yeah,
we're
well,
about
we
to
were
sort
going
of
about
consult.
9, I would say, in the same time. And,
Oh, it makes you
you
feel
know.
terrible though, doesn't it?
It's work, isn't it? The whole act of sex is supposed to be enjoyable, but it was like, you come home from work, right, we'll get one in before we fucking have our dinner, before I start making dinner, and then when you have your dinner, we'll leave it half an hour and we'll go again. And then maybe if you're feeling up for it, we'll go again before we go to sleep. And it's like work. It's like fucking
It was, I
regimented.
couldn't
It's
be
like
asked. Yeah, I mean, it was every other day. We sort of we did an entire month of every other day. And, I couldn't be asked with it by the end. I'd go and like have a wank to treat myself,
a treat wank.
It's something different. It's a bit nice. It's just myself. I don't have to worry about anyone else. It's just me. No.
I can enjoy this.
I can savour this. I don't have to.
Get a bit E45 cream on, lathered it up.
I just light one of my little LED candles in the corner. There you go. Just a worry for you, sort of thing for any of you.
That's really funny because it's true. I've been there and done it. Oh god, it's so funny. I don't know.
I'm just going to go and have a bath, but you never have a bath. Shut up. I'm having a bath.
I just lock myself in the fucking bathroom and go. Fuck.
You got all this to come, Dan. Dan, have I entirely put you off?
Yeah. Oh, you have completely. Well, I mean, I was off kids anyway. But,
Really?
you know,
Oh, thank God.
I certainly don't plan on having them.
Ever?
I really don't. Ever, yeah.
But
Maybe
why?
that
This,
was strange,
this
but I doubt
fascinating.
it.
Now, this is fascinating me, Dan. No.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get that a lot of people aren't maternal, especially a lot of women. Actually, at the more that I see the modern woman, and there's an awful lot of them that have absolutely zero interest in disrupting their life with children and stuff. But like, to say never want kids, like it's crazy. I don't know. I know there's no. I know there's no real reason why it should be. It's probably like social convention or something that's making me say that.
Yeah.
I find, they talk about the sort of biological clock, excuse me, the biological clock sort of ticking with ladies. I found that when I turned, I mean, I think it's different for everyone though. If you asked me before 25, I would say, nah, fuck kids. I don't need them. They just fucking take your money.
I would have said the same thing though as well.
Pain in the ass. But then, I don't know, just a subtle feeling after 25, I guess. It's, I don't know, I just found it starting to tick in my head. Just a weird thing. Can't explain
I
it.
think part of it is actually, and I always think this about when I go to London. London is not a kid's city. It's not. You don't live in places where you can bring kids up. It's very unlikely, and it's people who live in Lisbon are there's very few people I know live in Lisbon. You might be the only exception, Dan, that really like London. After a certain age. I often think that about New York and stuff. New York's an amazing city, but if I was 35 to 40, I wouldn't want to live in it. I want to live outside it and be able to travel in all the time. But I don't know if I'd like the hustle bustle all the time, but maybe that's just me. I'm kind of from Hicksville City. I live in a city, but it's not a real city. It's like a pretend city.
I think it's alright. I think, Dan, I think it's going to hit you as well. If not...
Once you find the woman. Once you find Mrs. Reed. Suzanne. See if you met Suzanne Reed. That could be a chat-up line.
No.
You wouldn't have to change your name, love. That'd be fucking.
What?
You keep her fresh. Suzanne Reid,
Suzanne Reid, the ex-BBC radio. Sorry.
She do the ITV or something now, doesn't she?
I hate it. See, I felt really bad because they moved her over to ITV and they put her behind a desk.
Yeah, all the best parts are covered up. I know.
I mean, what was it called? Oh, Charlie Brooker sort of said after that, it's like, oh, great, what? So that's no good because some of you men, you're so base that you can't sort of resist having a wank at any moment. You must always do all that. But it's
he knows as well. He's nailed that.
Yeah, but I used to like it. And a nice little treat in the morning. It's like, hello, and she's like crossing and uncrossing her legs, and it's like, yeah, you do that. Just a nice little wake-up treat, wasn't it?
Here you go, Dan. There's some pictures you can go and have a look. But yeah,
Oh,
I mean, there's plenty to see there. But yeah,
So Dan, like me, you're probably also a porn connoisseur. You may have come across if you go to your regular porn site of choice and type in Susanna Reid, there will be sort of compilations of her crossing and uncrossing her legs and the rare opportunities they have. So
really?
Yeah, I made them. No.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I mean that does make sense now.
Oh look, there's one now. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's crossing her legs, and you can see right up her skirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see her underwear and everything. Fair enough. I understand now.
To be fair, I'm just going to clarify. I just sent them Dan a link to the Google images for Susanna Reid. How within 12 seconds he got to where he got is
I just scrolled down.
You just scrolled down, yeah, and it was an animated GIF because you know what always happen in on Google images. Yeah, I hear you, Dan.
Okay.
Safe search is off, motherfucker.
Safe search is off. All right, no, I know what picture you're looking at now. I take it all back, Dan.
Yeah.
It's about fucking 14 scrolls down.
Oh, playing fucking PS2 with Susanna Reid pictures.
Yeah, I think it is. What's that? Yeah, what's that bit?
Is she wearing a blue
That
skirt?
other picture that's in the black lace isn't her, Dan. Anyway.
Oh look, there's another one. There's another one.
There is plenty. Yeah.
There are plenty. Grammar police are out.
So I thought,
She doesn't muck about, does she?
she was putting it out there, but then apparently she got snagged by ITV and got paid £1 million a year contract, and they hid her behind a desk. Those lovely hams.
What the fuck is all
Alas,
that about?
such is life. Now we've only got what is she called? Oh no, Nina. No, she's called Naga. Naga Mumchetti.
Naga Saran?
That's how I remembered her name. Yeah. Naga Siren from Dota. But yeah, Naga Mumchetti. She's alright, but she doesn't put it out there. Not the way I like it.
TV% are all by down. It's all Rachel Riley. I mean, that's how hard up we are. She's in fucking everything now.
Who was that?
No, no,
Rachel Riley.
What, the Countdown Girl? But she does the gadget show and
She's
she does
nice.
bloody everything. She's real nice.
Yeah.
She's proper nice.
And those little dresses she wears on Countdown, sort of like the figure hugging dresses. Yeah. I do like her. Is this podcast sort of like rapidly approaching the girls would like to nail podcast? That's not a bad idea.
I could do a whole show on that
I
every
could do
week.
an hour a week on that, yeah.
Well, in my case, it's probably more about 45 seconds.
I was going to say I can do about 4.5 minutes.
Oh, dear.
I've just got
Anyway.
a great picture of her standing next to a board with the word erection on it as well. Someone spat up. We can have it as this week's album artwork. Still do that sort of thing.
I'd do. No babies for you, Dan, though.
No.
Been a while since I've been speaking to you, to be honest.
Oh.
Fair enough.
I've got to say, on the
Easy.
subject, I must button rudely on the subject of yes, babies and Dr. Dan. In fact, he has been the biggest legend. So, for example, I might like to bust into a Snickers bar right now, and I can bust into another 43 of them downstairs
What?
because not a Dr. Dan sent me an entire 48 packet box of Snickers. He sent them to my home address. I don't know where I got
What
that from.
a legend!
I already know your home address.
See?
It's like a care packet, a man's care package.
Not even that. I mean, also in addition, I mean, it was incredibly touching. He also sent down from John Lewis, no less. He's in a bit of money. This doctor.
You probably don't have those in Cornwall.
We don't actually, no. We have to go like 70 miles up the road to Plymouth to get a John Lewis.
Jesus
But
Christ.
he also sent us a rather nice. I'd call it like a snowsuit. Wouldn't you? Did you look at it?
Exactly how it was described, a snowsuit. And I thought, hold on, it's November now, so...
That's good. We
Who's the snowsuit for? Is it for you, the baby, or
it's for me.
the wife? Or
Well, this is the thing, because this came to me. Now, I knew the baby had been born, so I thought, well, I'll see if I can send him something, but I'm terrible with gifts. But on Sunday morning, I saw your tweet, and you said, Mum and baby are doing fine, Dad is tired, send Snickers, and my brain just clicked. So I went Amazon.co.uk, Snickers. Okay, Ant's dealt with. And now I didn't know. Now I don't know Sarah's taste or anything like that, so I didn't know what to get her. But I thought
Also
she's the
Snickers,
mum.
I think.
Just
Yeah.
get some baby
Snickers.
stuff.
She's had 3 of the Snickers, Ant's only had 1.
So I didn't know where to look or what to do, and I just went into Google baby stuff, and one of the top things was John Lewis, and I thought, hello. I looked at that. I looked at a few other things, but that John Lewis it seemed quite nice, and I liked that coat, so I just thought get it sent out, and that's it. It's no trouble to do, Ant.
The man, the legend.
And a rather lovely like a rabbit soother as well.
Yes.
That's
I
what
got
got
something.
the wife actually, like a rabbit soother. You could have got one of those.
I mean, I'd send you something, Aunt, but that's fucking blown out of the water. Holy shit.
That's it. The bar is too high.
Actually, I don't know about
Sorry.
you, but I've been best friends with an awful lot of my friends for around 20 years. We've never even bought each other a card for anything. Kids born, birthdays, 30th birthday. I think I might have bought a 12-pack of beer once for them on their birthday, and then we kind of all looked at each other and went, what the fuck are you doing? That's not right. I don't know.
I don't do cards,
Is it a man thing? No.
I don't do that either. I don't do cards.
cards.
I don't even buy the wife cards. Maybe Valentine's Day, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not. I don't actually do cards ever. Because they're just... I don't know. a bit of a waste of
Consumerism,
money.
eh? I'm not bound to the pressure.
I actually I do make her very nice cards, in fact. I made her a hilarious Stephen Hawking card last Valentine's Day.
I mean,
Just
they're easy to
talking
read.
in a
What
speech
was the
bubble.
inspiration for this?
Was it one of those ones you open up and the voice
No,
comes out?
it didn't have like a robot voice coming out. No, it was just like a cool picture of him and sort of like a speech bubble saying, "Hey, I know this guy Ant who thinks you're really cool." And that was about it. But I don't know. That was a nice card. Stephen Hawking. It was only because
Was his football boots hanging over the back of the chair?
When me and the wife
Oh, I know this story. Yes.
one where she didn't know who Stephen Hawking is. I think she's grown a lot since she's been with me in mental and physical means. But basically, it's my sister convinced her that Stephen Hawking lives in like 2 miles down the road in a village called Tucking Mill. It's like, yeah, the wheelchair fella, he's sort of like, so Stephen Hawking always has a place in our heart, just because, he was a bit dopey at the time. It's a very romantic show, this, isn't it? We should get off this.
Yeah.
Woman I'd like to name.
The next thing we're going to hear, Dan was on a date during the week.
What? I didn't hear about this.
No, I wasn't on the date during the week.
But that's what I'm saying. The next thing we're going to hear, that I actually had the perfect sound for that.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing we're going to hear about Dan's date during the week.
Why weren't you on a date this week, Dan? This is the thing. There is, what do you call it now? The Tinder. Why aren't you on the Tinders, Dan? You would get some, you'd bag a few.
I probably would.
I might need to shave, though, at the moment.
I know I might. We'll get onto that in a minute. I installed Tinder.
Right.
I had it on for about 30 seconds. I looked through it, and I swiped and I swiped and I swiped, and I thought, well, fuck me, the East End is full of dogs. So I uninstalled it.
No, it's not the animal version you wanted. It was.
And the funny thing is, if I look out the front, if I'm washing dishes and I'm looking out the window from the kitchen onto the main road, there are so many hotties walking along the by roads, and I never fucking meet any of them. Obviously, because I'm upstairs washing dishes. But...
I was going to say, you should just stick a notice in the window, get on Tinder.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Get on Tinder. This guy right here could be in. I've never done any internet dating, but I know an awful lot of people who have.
My sister got married to her husband, of course.
Ah.
But no, I mean, they met via, I don't know, internet dating site. I don't know which one, but yeah. So, I mean, he was in Leicester, and, he's moved down there, now married and happy and all that. But that was like pre-Tinder, the apparently, well, hookers are saying, was it in Amsterdam? They're saying that they're on the bones of their arse. They're sort of really struggling with their trade because, I mean, all this Tinder, all this sort of free casual sex is coming along. It's a bit like the porn industry was destroyed by, like, the like the porn hubs and all that thing. Nobody wants to pay for it anymore because there are people willing to stick a cucumber up their arse for free, it turns out. So,
I mean, lots of people.
yeah.
And wash dishes at the same time. I don't know if these two stories are linked, but...
But no, Dan, you should get on there, though. You should.
Maybe I should.
Who knows?
What
This man's
Dan?
busy, though.
So, Dan, you strike me as a man who is rather accommodating and footloose and fancy-free. However, what are your standards like when it comes to women you would like to get with? Are you looking for an 8 or a 9? Are you or?
Oh no! I mean, I've been out with some nice-looking women, and I've been out with some mediocre-looking women as well in the past.
Did you tell them they were mediocre-looking while you're on the date?
Absolutely
How
not.
did it not last?
I am not that fucking stupid. Come on. I don't know. I mean, my standards aren't that high. I'd never thought that I had a type, but someone said to me a while ago, a friend, and I was just talking about how attractive I found someone in a bar or something like that. I didn't know her or something, and then this friend said, "Yeah, Daniel, we know your type," and apparently my type is tall and slim,
Right.
with long hair. Anything else is just
Colour her, not
no particular colour. I will often tell you that I really like redheads, but it doesn't matter. So no, it's the sort of tall and slim, but then I don't mind smaller girls either, and I don't mind buxom girls.
This is interesting.
Tall and slim is like the sort of perfect kind of funnel. But then, having said that, my last.
I love
Funnel. When you acidize them or break them down in their constituent parts and put them through a funnel, that's my favourite bit.
Yeah, that one. That kind of goo that comes out at the end.
That's why I like them, runny. I like them runny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I suppose I have a type, but I don't like to typecast. If I find a woman, it's like music for me. If I like a piece of music, I like it. If I find a woman attractive, I find her attractive.
If it's baby metal, it's baby metal.
I find it more the other way around. I found that my type has been established by the people that seem to like me. So Dan, I'm sure, would have a fantastic piece to say on this. Whether it's more, I have a different sort of body language around certain types of people, so they are more
Yeah.
possibly attracted to me, or that I don't know. Maybe
This is interesting. I think I agree with you. You know, sometimes go on.
I'm a lover of the larger lady. I
Yeah.
always have been. It's worked out rather well for me, it turns out, over the years.
Especially when she was pregnant.
But that's it. No, I mean, I like a lady, sort of shorter than me, which is harder because, I mean, I'm only 5'9" or so. Yeah, a lady that's shorter than me has massive tits, has dark hair, and often glasses. If you look at sort of like my last dozen girlfriends,
Right.
I had a dozen girlfriends.
But
If you
not
look
a
through the
dozen
girlfriends that I have, they may or may not add up to a dozen. About 3/4 of them will fit that sort of,
yeah.
and in a rather scary and disturbing and sick way. If you look at my mother, she is also 4'11", about 20 stone, massive tits, dark hair, glasses.
This conversation is useless without pictures.
This is interesting because my mum is a short, dumpy woman, and I generally, although if a particularly attractive short woman catches my eye, that's fine, but I generally go for taller, slimmer women. So
Did you have a nanny when you were younger?
no.
Is your twin sister tall and thin?
Lavera is quite. She's not very tall, but she's slim. Yeah, she's certainly taller than mum.
There's Freudian stuff here. I don't
Maybe,
understand.
maybe.
I hate it that I'm built this way.
Yeah.
But I am. It's just hardwired into me. But then, I mean, however, that seems to be my type. I'm into that. However, I find out and about on the street, those are the sort of people I would get the best sort of conversation out of. I get the rapport.
Got a comfort. Yeah. There's a.
And I get some real sort of meaningful rapport with someone I've only just met if they are of that sort of type. Is that again? Is that my sort of body language?
It probably is. I find an awful lot when my demeanour changed as I grew up and grew more confident myself. That a whole part of my life totally changed as well. I went from somebody people wouldn't look twice at to the opposite. An awful lot of the way just because your general demeanour. And I always remember in my early 20s a good friend of mine who was usually useless for women in general, but he was always so positive and smiley, and he always had the biggest being smile I've ever seen his face, and he used to get tortured by women every time we used to go out. I wouldn't have thought he was a great looking fella or anything, but just his general disposition I think rubbed off on people, And
I don't know. It's if I could go back, if I could sort of jump in my DeLorean, and if I could do a Freaky Friday and I could sort of be somehow transported back into my 15-year-old self, I'd be fucking beating them off with a stick. But rather, I'd be pestering all sorts of girls. I'd be all over them if I had sort of this level of confidence now as I did, that I rather didn't have back when I was 15.
Yeah. But I think we all can, it takes a long while to get over your teenage years and that awkwardness, and this feeling that, certainly I was growing up, why the fuck would they like me? I mean, I'm a dick.
I mean, me especially, yeah. I don't know, I had all manner of issues, and it took me all through my 20s and, probably about 6-7 years of counselling to get over in the end. But it's, I was a fucking freak back in those days, sort of personality-wise. I'm still physically some kind of weird. But
I think that's a byproduct of, everybody in their teenage years considers themselves to be. You just don't feel comfortable in yourself, isn't that? There was a couple of kids in your class who seemed to have it fucking totally going on, and you wasted it with that guy, and
the amount
you
of time
meet them now, and
that's fuck. One of the fellas, that I used to envy, and it's like, oh, look at him, he was always getting off with girls at the disco and two fingers up them, and I could never do that.
Kit-catting.
Now he works in a hardware supply shop, and it's like, you're right, mate. How's it going? And it's, I don't know. I suppose it's all about peaking whenever. What were you like in school, Dan? I mean, Dan, were you a confident, outgoing fellow in secondary school?
Not really. I wasn't the cool kids. I wasn't among the sort of lowest tier of kids. I was in that kind of middle ground.
Yeah. Didn't
people who
shine,
could,
didn't stand out either way.
yeah, but might have done if all the cool kids had suddenly disappeared.
Hmm.
I
You could
think
have
I
made a
might have
space
been
for
one of the cool
yourself.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was that in the sense that you felt slightly oppressed.
Was this
Or
before or else after the Danny the Fanny incidents?
well, that's affected me for most of my life.
Yeah.
Uh, no. I mean, Danny Fanny was like sort of 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it was quite young.
Girls weren't interested in at all, apart from Fiona McGowan.
Ooh. Who's Fiona McGann? I like that
Fiona
name.
McGowan was my first ever crush. I had her when I was about 5 or 6. Don't even know why I fancied her. And I ran up to her one day and...
Is she married now, Dan?
yeah, she's married now. She's got kids and friends with
What's her
her.
model name? What's her maiden name?
Oh,
Or what's
shit.
her married name?
I
So
don't
I'm
know.
gonna find her on Facebook. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I was going to think that, yeah, this won't go out. This won't go out in the air. We'll stop this.
Shit.
Have
Is
you
she a doctor?
Have you ever knocked one
No.
out on
No,
Facebook?
that's the first one that comes out.
No, I haven't. Do you know? No, she's not. She has no appeal now. She sent me a friend request. I recognise her, obviously. And no appeal. I don't know why I was so into her.
Yeah, well, you were young, foolish, and needed the money. As they
Yeah.
usually say.
But the thing is, I ran up to her in the playground one day and I said, "Oh, Fiona, I've got to tell you a secret." And I was about to say, "Oh, we're getting a cat at the weekend." And then I thought, hold on, I'm whispering this into her ear, and her cheek is right there. So instead of whispering,
Oh my
"We're getting a
god!
cat at the weekend," I kissed her on the cheek.
What age were you?
And it must have been what, 5 or 6. And
Oh
I'm
right. I thought you were gonna say 15 or 16.
No, like 5 or 6. And so terrified, and and then she left somewhere else. But then I bumped into her again in an older school, and then I had a real thing for her when I was about 14, 15. But now it's just
And then you told her about the cat.
Then you got a real secret.
So yeah, I don't know where that point was going, but
It's more of a pussy band.
I'm gonna give it the pussy.
Oh my god! Give her a kiss on the cheek and whisper to her
Yeah,
ear,
can we
pussy.
move on, please?
We're two. Are we going to talk about this thing in your face or not?
Oh yes, go on then. What, the zit or the?
There's always a zit, Dan. I mean, that's hardly news.
Oh no, look at that thing there. Look, can you see it?
No, I can't actually. All I
Terrific.
can say is a fucking growth.
It's just yeah. So of course, for those of you, well, fucking everyone can see now. We're not just recording in audio; we're recording in
that's true.
video, and
That's true.
I'm sure you've all seen it by now. On Saturday, the 1st of November, and that morning, I shaved, and I have not shaved this patch of my face since. And I'm doing Movember. This is the second or possibly third time I've done it. I didn't do it last year. I did it first in 2011, and like the very few guys at work who are there just sort of tend to do it between themselves, and that's it. It is modelled on a video game character. Now you can't see it very clearly, but can anyone guess?
Ah, I can see the shape it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's
So
yeah.
it's supposed to go the whole way out. It could, I mean, it'd be easy to say Mario, but it's not Mario.
Would be,
It's
wouldn't
more
it? Possibly from a modern.
Saints Row kind of.
Metal Gear
No,
Well, I wouldn't say Saints Row because you made your own character in Saints Row.
that's right.
So-
It's a female.
Solid Snake, no?
No, possibly from a modern warfare simulator.
You're not
Oh, you're
Kevin Spacey, are you?
Price.
Captain Price, yes.
Oh, I can see it now. You've said it. Yeah,
Now that I've said it, and I don't know where my hat is, but I've got a hat just like Captain Price.
it is
so,
pretty good actually for Price.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, I looked up some pictures online, so I know the shape, and I reminded myself of it this year, and hopefully it'll just get bushier and bushier as time goes on. It's not been a week yet, so
That's
yeah.
going on pretty good.
Thanks.
It is pretty
I
easy.
look
for
like a
beard,
twat.
though. I didn't realise
No.
that.
This is the thing. This is now since I
You're at
shaved
that
just
pedo
before we
stage.
started.
That's it.
Say again?
You're at that pedo stage right
Yeah,
now. Awkward
it's
stage where it's
horrific.
nightmare.
It's horrific. So, but now it's starting to show. So I'm going to get on public transport tomorrow morning, and it's going to be obvious. Did I tell you
But
about
everybody knows that Movember's going on. I mean, it seems it's
I think so. Well,
widespread
not
now,
everyone. Certainly a lot of the guys do, and you'll see moustaches and things like that, and you'll see a guy, and you might make eye contact, and you'll kind of nod.
You're getting the Movember nod.
Yeah, and did I tell you about the teenage girls the first time I did this in 2011, who were taking photographs of me.
No. You
Were
were
you
on their
outside the
Facebook?
cake festival?
Okay.
I never saw the pictures on the internet. I didn't even bother trying. But I was catching the tube home, and this was towards the end of November 2011. This was big and bushy, and you could not miss this thing. It was all the way across my face, and it was nearly a month's worth of growth. And these couple of I was sitting on the tube reading a book, and a couple of teenage girls sat down at one of the stations when somebody else got up. One of them sat next to me, and I think the other one must have sat in the seat after that. And they said, then they sort of started giggling and talking between themselves. And I thought, oh, they're just being teenage girls. And then one said, oh, do you want to take a picture of us together? Let's take a picture. And so one got a camera out, a phone, and they were sort of pointing it and doing this and doing that, and they were giggling away. And then at the very last second, and I could feel it, I was reading my book, the girl with the camera leaned right in towards me, turned the phone and took the picture, and I thought, fucking bitch just took a picture of me.
Was she nice?
And I didn't look, and they weren't adults. They were close to being adults, but I would have got arrested. Okay.
You're no fun, Dan.
Too high down.
I thought, do you know what? I thought if they had just asked me, I would have said it's fine. But the fact that they kind of tried to do it really sneakily, but it was really obvious. And I just
Dan
thought,
the pin-up.
yeah, teenage girls taking pictures of me and my moustache. There you go. That's it. So, I'll keep you updated. You'll obviously see it on a week-to-week basis, how it goes.
Captain Price.
Soap? What kind of a name is Soap?
McTavish.
Yeah. So there you go.
I always think everybody looks like Milkman at the moment. It's kind of, I don't know, there was a Milkman look, but when I see people with the start of the growth thing, I think Milkman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Maybe it's an island thing. Irish milk.
We don't have Milkmen anymore. It's fucking terrible.
Go on delivering.
I'm sure there are. I mean,
stuff.
but there couldn't have been like a whole industry died overnight when fucking Tesco started selling 2 litres of milk for £1.20. I mean, it couldn't have been a thing.
The heyday was back with Ernie, wasn't it? And he drove the fastest milk car in the West. What was that? That was Benny Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could have been.
Where have they gone?
Oh,
Now I buy
know.
my milk from Amazon. Comes from America. I don't care. But I found though, I mean, with time being a bit rare these days for me to do anything. I first came in, so being a gamer, rather committed, I would say. I found it sort of on the very birthday of my daughter, I had to play a bit of a game. Well, I was playing the game on my tablet. I sort of got the tablet in there, got 5 or 6 films on there, and I got my little Bluetooth speaker, because I thought there might be some waiting around. Turns out there wasn't. But I was playing a bit of Star Realms and having to
Yeah.
And I don't know, that... What do you mean you love that game? Challenge me then. Fight me, Highlander.
I'm sick beating you.
What? I fucking had you. You stopped playing that game, and I had you that game.
I was playing Tony last night, and
Oh, he's a fucker. He's got me. We're playing a game at the minute, and he has got me. I know it. I'm just waiting for the hammer to drop.
I had one of those turns. It was 22 to me. It was 35 to him, and I managed to pull together one of those runs to give me just exactly 35 in one go. Oh fuck! I haven't seen a challenge from him since. But that is a hell of a game. For those that don't know, Star Realms is a card game, but on iOS, Android, PC kind of thing.
I don't want to discourage people. It's not like Magic the Gathering.
No, it's not.
Hardcore. It's not super hardcore. It's like, a fun little game. You can play. Anyone can play it. It's on Android and iOS. And it's more like, you're not deck building. No. You are in a way, but I mean...
But you are, but not in the hardcore way that puts people off Magic or any of those other games.
Between games, you don't have to go and... I think that was Tony just then. Sort of his challenge has come back to me in Star Realms. But no, you don't have to sort of like go and hone and perfect your little deck and get your own little system worked out for yourself between games. Instead, all the cards you can ever have are sort of in the middle, and both players can see them, and both players can buy them. And you have to sort of just do it on the fly like that. And I don't know, it's a really solid game. But I found playing a little bit of that, but I thought that it's not going to do. I mean, just on my sort of little tablet there. And I was thinking about buying a laptop for this show and sort of, doing lots of soundboard stuff and live video streaming and all sorts of business like that and sort of really high-end production. But then I thought, I'm not really going to get the time. So even the first day, I thought, I'm not going to get the time to sort of put hours in, to sort of make this really high end. So instead, I thought I'd buy myself a nice tablet to game on. So at the RRP of 450 quid, I instead picked up for 200 instead a Galaxy Tab Pro. It's,
I'm gonna look these up.
It's a nice tablet here.
Oh, yeah.
It is an absolute. The screen, it's 1080p screen. No, it's higher than that. It's like 1600 screen, something 2500 by 1600. And it's absolutely fucking gorgeous, the screen on it. But it's also a 8-core processor as well, and all sorts of business inside it. But I've been experimenting with. I was trying it last night. You have like a what do you call it now? The sort of streaming from your PC. I was actually I was playing Civ on my tablet last night. Sort of like I just hit a button and it starts my PC up and boots it up, and then I can navigate.
So is there a Steam client on your tab then?
No, I'm using something. It's a Samsung thing called.
Oh, so they're virtual desktop software.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
a bit shit though. I'm not getting the frame rate I want.
Splicetop is the same on iOS, and
Splicetop.
you're right. I mean, I thought I could play FTL on it.
Mhm.
That's what I was looking to play on before FTL came to iOS, obviously. But you're right. I mean, if you do your tests and you're doing the tests, and it seems like you're getting between about 10 to 15 frames a second, which you think should be enough. But in actual fact, it's not really good enough to be playing any kind of game on.
But I mean, it's so I can get something called Limelight. I've already installed it on the tablet, but it works with the GeForce experience. If you have
All right, okay, yeah.
have a 6 series or higher. I only have my slow out 4 series, but apparently results on that are really good. Actually, sort of streaming from the PC to the tablet. So I might be looking at doing that. But otherwise, it's a really nice tablet. Photos look fantastic. On sort of like a 1600p screen. They look absolutely godlike. Just from, I mean, it's got more P's than my TV, which is like 42 inch, condensed down into like a 10-inch tablet.
Biggest.
It's so sharp. It looks really nice. But yeah, so I've been doing a bit of that. But I thought, I mean, what do people with kids otherwise do? They have a go. Console gaming seemed to make sense. Now, so if I'm waiting there, we've got like a little Moses. We've got like a swinging crib. Check out my crib in the front room. It's like a swinging thing, sort of crib thing. You put the baby down and then between feeds, and she's happy there. And rather than fucking off to my own office and sort of getting on my PC, I thought, this is why people play console games. You can just sit there with your pad in your hand. Something goes wrong, hit the pause button, go and pick up the baby. Happiness. So, booted up the PS3. That was the most recent console I have.
Oh my god! Right, okay.
I've been watching a few funny videos on Grand Theft Auto 5. I thought I'd get back into that because the sort of the next gen quote marks versions are coming out soon, aren't they? In about 10 days.
First person view and everything, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say I didn't play that on my PS3 anyhow because I started at 1:10, turned my PS3 on, and I thought, right.
Afternoon, morning.
In the afternoon, 1:10 in the afternoon. I had my PSN update to do. I also had the updates from GTA 5, which hasn't been updated since launch. So, started at 1:10 in the afternoon. When do you think I got into the game for the first time?
2:20, I'm going to go for.
It's a pretty solid guess. What do you reckon, Dan?
Oh, I'm going to go higher.
Higher!
How you say?
3 o'clock.
Nothing for 2 in the bed in this game.
It wasn't quite that late, Dan. I think Mohan's got it there. But it was, you said what, 2:10? It was...
2:20, I said.
Yeah, it's about 2:10.
That is a long old time. Look at this.
Yes, because it doesn't make sense. I have all the internets. I have fucking a solid 80 meg down. Well, not quite 80 meg. I have 74 meg down at all times. And although my PS3 isn't wireless, it still has, a decent. It can still do 56. Is it 56 megabits? It can do the PS3 sort of wireless, which still equates to 7 megabytes per second.
It doesn't happen, but.
No, not with fucking PS3 it doesn't anyhow. So yeah, it took...
I was updating my Vita last night. I got a wee thing because Rebirth came out and it's PlayStation Plus. Fucking hell. 55 meg update, like 22 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
Fiber, what the hell? Like, what?
It's because you don't have a choice. If you had Steam on there and Steam worked like Steam works on the PC, you'd just fuck off the PSN and just go for Steam every time. I think it's
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
isn't it? But it's not like it with the PS4 though, is it? PS4's okay for downloading stuff, isn't it?
It's a bit better, but it does background downloading, so it can go into power save mode when it fucking works, and it'll do that in the background, so you're not like waiting on it'll do it while you're at work or whatever, you know.
Downstairs between the hours of 3 and 8 a.m. you have.
Well, no, you can do that with PlayStation Plus, but no, it'll just wake itself from sleep and download the update, you know, without it being in those indeterminate times, because it goes into just like a sleep mode rather than off. The PS3 doesn't have a sleep mode; it's either off or on, and it'll wake itself for those 2 hours to look for the updates and grab them then if you're PS Plus.
That's okay. I mean, if the speeds are improved, but yeah. So I got in the game. Took me an hour and 10 minutes. Got in the game. Played 5 minutes. Went fuck it. Turned it back off again.
And we've all done that.
I don't know. It just isn't that. I mean, the online just. I don't know. I suppose I haven't got the friends on PlayStation. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If I had sort of the amount of people on there, because I mean, the videos I was watching were like mates, you know, just having like fucking around in GTA 5.
Messing about,
for a good old time. Which is why I don't know. I'm quite excited. Is it coming out for PC in a week's time?
I was just about to ask. It is coming out for PC in January, and is anyone thinking of getting it?
Again.
No interest whatsoever.
You didn't like it. I mean, it was well out of your Game of the Year 2013 conversation, wasn't it? It was fucked right.
I mean, I finished it and I made sure I finished it, but it just didn't click with me at all. It's no I've been playing a bit of Dead Rising 3. It's a similar style of game, but I think Dead Rising 3 is much more interesting to play. I notice the lack of the word better, because I'm not, you know, measuring them up against each other as far as quality of production and all that kind of stuff. But I just find Dead Rising 3 much more interesting to play. I just found GTA 5 boring.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Yeah, it was.
There's no, like in most open world games, there's enough shitload of driving. Who really cares? And driving's never that interesting or good or challenging or any of those things to warrant, you know, the amount of time you spent doing it. I mean, I remember playing Mafia 2, and I really, really like Mafia 2. The story is awesome, and but the amount of driving in that game is absolutely ludicrous, and I could see why somebody would just pack it in.
I can see why. I mean, Saints Row 4, they tried to they sort of tried to dispense of that rather quickly, and you could just sort of like run up the side of the building and start gliding and all that. I seem to recall you didn't particularly like Saints Row 4 either, there, Mr. Moen.
Not the first time. I went back to it and started it up again, and I did like it all. I haven't went back to it because, like most of those games, I think you get your fill by playing through one of them, and then it's a bit like having playing a driving game. If I sunk myself into Forza Horizon 2 now, and I maxed it out and the rest of it, I couldn't go in and play another driving game for another year and a half, because I'd rinsed that game or that style of game in a while. Same goes for MMOs, anything like that. Once you're playing an open world game where you're going from point to point to point to point and doing those menial tasks, those fetch quests, or
they are quite limited.
You know, they're very, very limited scope of the things they're doing. Now, to be fair, the heists in GTA 5 were at least interesting, but I always found them too over the top. You knew there was going to be a ridiculous fight scene at the end, but just never in the stream of enemies that you had to clear. There was no way to do that cleanly and just get out and, well, I mean, you could do it cleaner than others, but I mean, you still knew it was going to end in a fuck up. You know, somewhere along the ways, but
On that sort of note, then on OpenMod, are you going to get Assassin's Creed Unity then?
no,
No.
I'm no
I don't know if
interest.
anyone's excited about that.
To be honest, I can't even really tell you very much about it apart from it's in France. That's it. I mean, it might be amazing. I will say though, I mean, you'd played it and completed it, and I started it up after having really not much inclination to play it. Shadows of Mordor.
All right, yeah.
It's really fucking good.
It's so fucking good.
It's really surprisingly so. I'd heard an awful lot about it for a long time and thought I knew what that game was, and all the descriptions of it being like an Assassin's Creed clone are all correct and all that, but there's something really, really satisfying about the Batman combat in it, along with, you know, the little elements that it's getting you to do and the identifying and the options that you have to either interrogate or straight out kill, stealth kill, you know, so get information or just get energy or whatever off them. And you find yourself really I feel myself rinsing areas in that game like you would in Assassin's Creed or any of those. But I'm bored of Assassin's Creed. Just that world is just a bit more interesting. The one thing I'll say though, and this is true for most of these types of games, Dead Rising 3, etc. The See the upgrade path that you get for XP?
Hmm.
They're all really fucking boring.
Upgrade path for XP.
You know when you level up your ranger in Mordor, right? And you get to pick, whether you can stun enemies. When
Yeah.
you. I mean, all those abilities are really kind of boring. I mean, I get them, but what I always found was good about certain types of games when you got an option, either upgrade this or this. You want to go. XCOM was good at this. You would have a choice between two or three things, and you go, well, they're all pretty good. They all seem pretty overpowered as choices. I can't wait to try them. Whereas, in Mordor, because the upgrade tree is maybe so large or whatever, you look at it and go, well, they're all kind of shitty,
Yeah, there are
and I
three.
don't really care.
You're right. There are 3 or 4 that are key. There are 3 or 4 upgrades in that game are key. The first one is when you roll over a dude, you'll stun him temporarily.
Yeah,
That ability is absolutely clutch to your
for crowd
any sort
management
of
and
fighting.
stuff.
The second one is it comes a lot later in the game. You get the ability to, sort of like shorten your combo meter, so you actually start getting you sort of get your sword glowing blue after like 5 hits rather than 7.
Okay, right.
That's a good one to get. And then also what was the other one? The ability not to like soul suck.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Folks, if you can do that, so when you hit them with your soul fist, as it were, you
yeah.
sort of, you stun them.
That's your soul glow.
Attack button. They go dim, 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 and you sort of
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
them really fast with the sword. At the end of that, you actually get the combo where you just like fucking you suck their soul and then you explode their head.
All right,
And
nice.
that's a really great combo. You get that sort of probably quite close to where you are.
Right, okay.
But it does it automatically at the end of that combo. And then when you do that, it gives you back your focus and it gives you back all your arrows as well. And if you have the right runes, if you kill the right guy, well, some guys
There are
you
captains,
get
yeah.
runes. Every sort of like focus drain, every like soul suck you do, you get back 18% health.
Oh,
And that's it.
so
But
you can chain all that together and then make it work
towards
for
the
you?
end of the game, you just get silly. The amount, instead of actually like soul sucking, sort of like by pressing, I have to think of the buttons now, A and Y. Instead of like doing those two, instead you sort of turn them onto your side. You sort of recruit them for your team. You sort of like brand them. But as well, you can do it where you get an unlock where once your sword is glowing, instead of just doing one execution or one brand, you get to do 2 instead.
Okay.
You hit folks like 3 times, and then you instantly turn 2 of them onto your team or
Right,
explode
okay.
their head.
Yeah.
And it just gets you get so overpowered. It's a great feeling. Though. It feels like they're balancing up all the time. It feels like you're just getting more and more powerful, and so are the enemies as well. But you just feel like you are so much more in control. It's a really good game. I do really like it. It's
Really surprisingly so. Like I just,
the
it's
first 3 or 4 hours are quite unpleasant though. But I think you have to have that in order to get.
I quite liked it from the start, though. I have to say, there's something about the tutorial's really boring, but once
Yeah.
the game starts and then you're able to walk around, I think there's an awful lot in there.
Maybe
Um,
maybe it's me trying to run before I could walk and just sort of try and take
It
down
could
these
be.
guys immediately.
well, that's one thing I found when I first started off. I was like, I heard people complain about the combat, about it being hard. It's at certain points when you get things, but I'm just wasting dudes. But then you quickly find yourself in situations where the way you have to fight changes. Like when they're hunting a wild animal, you take on a crowd of the
Caragor.
Yorks, taking down a Caragor or 2 Caragors, and you think I'll just wait on the side here and start picking them off. Well, you've bit well far more than you can chew at the start there, because there's 2 Caragors and you're down because you have to headshot those boys with your arrows, and you only get so many elf shots and all that kind of stuff, and you're going, fuck, I didn't realize, holy hell. So it's really really nicely done, and just to get more time to play it, I suppose, more than anything else. It's
But no, I think it's going to take some beating. I don't think Unity can take it this year, unless they've done major works on what Assassin's Creed is. But yeah, I don't know. I'm saying that I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play Unity. I have no interest whatsoever.
I can't say it. If it comes down in price, yeah. The other problem with it is it's not going to be on Steam ever, apparently.
It's what Ubisoft. It's what's that?
It's Uplay. I mean, usually they go
Uplay.
for that at the start and all that kind of stuff, but they're not, it's apparently it's not happening. Neither is Far Cry 4, and neither is what's the
No.
Crew, isn't the other one? The other Ubisoft. They're all going to be just through their own thing,
Mm.
which is a
I'll
pity.
do it. Yeah, I'll do it for Far Cry 4, but I ain't gonna do it for fucking Unity.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll play Far Cry 4. That depends on what the co-op options are like. I might just end up playing that in console if it's not, um, if there's no like co-op or opportunities to kind of mess about with these guys on it, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I really like 3. 3 was really good.
Three's great. The end of three's fucked up, completely fucked up, and I kind of love that about it, you
But
know.
it makes sense. I mean, out of
It
most of the games
does.
where you become sort of like a ungodly sort of super powerful monster, it
Did
seems to
you
make
finish
good sense.
three? Dan, I know you played Blood Dragon a lot, but did you ever play
Uh,
three or finish three?
which three are you talking about? Assassin's
Far Cry
Three.
3,
Creed.
Far Cry
Oh,
3,
Far Cry
sorry.
3. Yes, of course I finished it. Yeah, that was my game of the year 2012. Came out of nowhere. Loved it, start to finish. I just didn't really have much interest in it. Found it for cheaps on something like
Yeah.
one of these CD key sites, or maybe I got a box copy for about 20 quid. I happened to have days off work that I needed to use. Took a
hmm
week off. Fuck me, that game just bit me by the balls. Yeah, loved it.
It's
And yeah,
great.
the ending is fucked up.
It's completely fucked up, and
Yeah.
it's a weird game because I always played most games straight down the middle, but in the ending, there's only one makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
of the endings. You know, if you're invested in that character, invested in what was going on, it only makes
Mm.
one sense. And fuck, I hope my wife or my mum doesn't find out what I did. Like, oh, Jesus, that wouldn't be right.
Was a bit messed up. Good
It
old
was a
Citra.
bit messed up. I just remember the option being presented to me and going, "Holy shit,
Oh, yeah.
that is class!"
Yeah.
In a kind of completely messed up way, and I can't believe I'm
Yeah.
going to do what I'm about to do with a happy heart. And oh dear, but it makes sense. So
Still kind of worth it though. Yeah.
yeah, it was. It was great. It was great.
Oh, I should play that again now. I really want to play that again.
Oh, I just want to play the last 5 minutes again. That's
Mm.
it. I don't want to do any of the hunting shit again, and that's my problem. I think I'm going to have a Far Cry 4. I just feel like it's going to be a skinned version of 3.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
As I say, talking about skinning. But I mean, you'd probably also see a lot of similarities in, or what was it called now? Assassin's Creed
Yeah, well,
4
that's
Black Flag.
for the same reason. I just kind of it was a game too far. It was the first one of that entire series that I didn't complete, and I was just fed up being forced to run around that planet scavenging materials,
Hmm.
saying you needed to upgrade this before you went any further. And I was just like, I did it for a
Like
while, and I was like,
re-roll it.
what am I doing?
Skins.
This is just what? Just let me finish the game without putting some arbitrary roadblock in my way, you know. And balls that. Again, I think I'm done. If Shadows of Mordor does something similar, I'll probably stop playing it as well. I couldn't be bothered with all that nonsense. It's just that I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm having the same problem with Destiny, to be honest, as well. I finished the game, the main storyline earlier on. The last fight's great, and the game's great, but the whole game after that's totally MMO style grinding. And could I be bothered?
You didn't get to level 30 then.
I'm not level. I'm only on level 19. Before I hit the soft cap, so to speak. But it's all grinding gear and grinding missions and doing it. And they're fun. Don't get me wrong. The strikes, the like raids are fun. And if the game comes out in PC, we should definitely get it because it is really, really solidly good. But you have to make a conscious decision when you're playing MMO style games to go, right, I like this, but I'm going to invest the time to do the stupid stuff that is going to get me nice gear. I mean, I think I said this before launch. If you've already done that with games, then it doesn't matter whether they're on console or slightly different. You just kind of you're worried stepping down that path and thinking to myself, right, I want a purple cloak, so I'm gonna grind fucking 70 missions, 70 raids here to get the stuff to get this purple cloak. I mean, at a certain point, you think to yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing it because I'm enjoying the game, or am I just trying to get this fucking purple cloak?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've. Yeah, I'm up for it anymore. I don't think
Well,
I've been there.
not now, not this week. Certainly not.
A
Well, who
couple of
knows if it'll ever come out for PC? You would imagine it would. But
Hmm.
I also did it all, totally solo. There was no
Um,
problems. I remember there was quite an awful lot of people were saying, oh, yeah, at a certain point, I'd heard if you get up to 12, 13, you have to do it with friends, or else the game's too hard. I mean, the game's hard. I like that the combat's hard in it, the shooting is hard. But I didn't die that many times, in the game. It was manageable with the right combo. But I did it totally solo, so, all the other boys, Phil and all, level 29. Holy crap. Those guys have taken over their life. Good on yous. Maybe one day I'll get to do a raid with yous, but I don't know. Again, the other problem with MMOs is when those guys start day one, they're already 10 levels ahead of you before you even start, or 12 levels ahead. You never actually get the chance to catch up with them. And you're out of the loop.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not for me, I don't think. I was going to say I should mention it too if we ever get Digi on.
It's on next week.
Excellent stuff.
Which is great stuff. So if you're a fan of Digi, we'll see if we can get him to talk politics.
Yeah, it'd be better than us talking politics, I think.
On that question, though, did either two of you have to think about your 2 truths, 1 lie?
Oh, shite, no. Sorry.
I'll just try and write some now.
I'll fill. It's fine. It's fine. I'll talk about the fact that I watched Gravity last night. Has anybody seen it? The George Clooney Alfonso Cuarón film, who, Children of Men being one of my all-time favourite movies. I just think it's stunning. Well, Gravity was supposed to be equally as good. And you know what? I just kind of thought it was okay.
Oh, that's the one with Sandra Bullock, isn't
Sandra
it?
Bullock and Clooney in space.
Yeah, female space person.
I can see why it was amazing in the cinema. I can see it was one, and to be honest, my wife was beside me, and she was gasping and going, really taken aback by the things that were happening, but I just kind of thought it was like magic tricks, that they were trying to do. I didn't think what was going on was really that impactful or meaningful, and I really expected to like it, and I suppose it's one of those things, when you build a film up to have those kind of expectations, it almost certainly never reaches them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have big problems with it, I think, because I'm all into my Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, that's true.
And, I was actually, just before we started recording, I was just about to, I was planning my ejection burn out of Mars coming back to the Earth, sort of thing.
I thought you were going to tie this back into the baby being born.
No. Not quite. But no, I was sort of planning my, all this sort of high-tech stuff. But I think, that film isn't really, it's Hollywood accurate. I don't think it's sort of, astronomical accurate.
So it was a little disappointing, I have to say. I don't think I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Watching the big screen, I'm sure it was utterly fantastic. But, I kind of wish I'd have picked something else, that kind of way. That would have been the business, but I don't know. You got anything?
I've got two. I don't know. I've got several ones. I don't know. I think you'll see right through these, though.
That's okay. I know you better than most of the listeners, though, so maybe I'm going to file it up. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. I either once set fire to my house.
Okay.
Well, I've forgotten the list there. I once had a threesome with 2 sisters in the same bed.
Okay.
Or I was once a champion sprinter. How many? Oh no, I was going to say how many are lies. How many? We have. How many are supposed to be true? How many are supposed to be lies?
So 2 are supposed to be true, 1's supposed to be a lie.
Okay, yeah, that is correct. Then, yeah.
Okay, Daniel, what do you think?
Now, this is the thing. I think that champion sprinter, that could be a bluff. I think he might have dropped it in there in an attempt to make us think.
He was a rugby player at a point.
So he might be able to move pretty quick. I'm going to say that that's a truth, but it's a risky guess.
And what do you think's the lie? The threesome or the starting a fire in his own house?
Threesome,
Everybody's
starting a
fucking
fire.
done that. Everybody's fucking
everybody's done
drunk
that.
with the sausage rolls in the oven. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think that's probably true as well. So I'd have to, by default, go with the threesome as the lie.
I'd go for the champion spreader. Are you kidding me? Which is the lie, Ant?
Well, I'm glad you all agreed on me setting fire to my house, because I can tell you that is in fact true.
Yes.
That was a bad time. You see, what happened was we used to have a Rayburn in my house, sort of in this house before I'd done it all up. And
not the sunglasses?
Not Ray-Ban. The Ray-Bans used to heat our house. It was like a Ray-Ban, like an Arga sort of thing, but it was
Right,
like
right.
wooden coal-fired Arga, because this house was built in the 1950s and it still had it. And due to a strange set of circumstances, when I was like 13, 14, and the cooker melted, we had to use this Arga. It was an absolute, because we also had an open fireplace, which I had to light as well. I was a master at starting fires. However, it was a damp day, the kindling wasn't really up to it, and I couldn't light this Ray-Ban, which is a problem, because if I didn't light the Ray-Ban, we wouldn't have tea. A poor family we were. And so I had the great idea at 14 of, there's some white spirit in the corner here. I should pour some of that onto the kindling and then try and light my paper and kindling sort of in the Ray-Ban to light it. I poured, I don't know, about a third of a like 500ml bottle. I poured a load on that. I lit the fucking match. I went to put it in. It only got halfway in before like the vapor caught fire and it sort of woof and sent a fireball out at me. But more importantly, it set all of the white spirit off inside the sort of the fire chamber. And you know you get like those big heavy solid plates on Ray-Bans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It shot that through the fucking ceiling.
Fucking hell.
And it sort of hit the ceiling and come back down and fucking snapped it. But the problem was it shot a fireball right up the chimney, all the way up the chimney, which had coal dust in it and set it on fucking fire.
Oh, Jesus.
The worst thing I ever had to do was go in and tell my sister. She was my guardian. My sister was my parent from like the age of 11 upwards. I had to go in and tell her that I may or may not have set the house on fire. Because I was, a shy kid and a bit of a sheepish one. So I was like, so the Ray-Ban, did you hear that woof? Well, I may have set the house on fire because the smoke was all down the fucking street at this point. And, luckily, the fire station's only up the road. And we had loads of firemen putting hoses down the chimney and putting it out. Yeah, I was never allowed to have the Ray-Ban again.
So that's one down. So it's either the threesome or the sprinter.
So, there was a time where I was shy. However, I had some pretty messed up girlfriends. And one time, after smoking things which shouldn't have been smoking and drinking things we were legally allowed to drink in the twilight, we may or may not have all jumped into the same bed together because we were poor students and we couldn't afford a taxi ride home.
Yeah, or the heating. I mean, heating was expensive.
And I was a fucking pimp. At 17, I had like a king-size bed, which is one of the best commodities you can ever have. Because it's like a bed, it's massive, it's no sort of shitty single bed. So, let's see, my girlfriend Lau and her sister Nikki all had a bit of a, I won't go into too much detail as it were, but yes, I'm unfortunately going to tell you that I did have a threesome once with two sisters.
This is the first quiz I've won, isn't it? Have you done?
Yeah, I think it might be.
However, when it comes to the champion of sprinters, I in fact was not a renowned champion sprinter of the southwest of England. In fact, I was second in the southwest for the 100.
Oh!
One bastard called Richard Lee, the fucker, from a school 10 miles up the road from Penn School, always used to just beat me. But yeah, I was second in the southwest at the 100 meters for the.
I knew you were probably quick, but I believe the threesome story much.
Yeah, much less. Oh well.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So two truths, one lie. There we go. We can do another
Nicely
one.
done. Yeah, Dan's turn next week.
Fuck.
Actually, I think Digi's got one sorted next week, so
Okay.
he might be off the hook.
Good stuff. What do you reckon, fellas? Are we all talked out?
I think I need to go get another drink, which probably means it's time to put the feet up and whatever else. But I'll catch you guys next week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good.
it's good.
Do we have any sort of publicity? Do we have any way the kind listeners out there can get hold of us at all in the meantime while we're still deciding on? We still haven't got a name for this thing, do we?
I think we've got a name.
It's
It's going to go up as the Man Drawer, I think.
I reckon
Most certainly. So the Man Drawer podcast is free. I'll register it now on Twitter, and
I think as well. I've got a cracker of a Man Drawer as well, so we can get into that another week.
Cool. I'll catch you guys next week. All right.
See you later.
All right. Take care. See you later.
Goodbye.